Welcome back to Nation of Glory. Today we bring you a story that rises from legacy, pride, and the pursuit of greatness. A story of a man born into wrestling royalty, who carried his family's name with power and passion, who reached the heights of international fame, and who faced battles both inside and outside the ring. This is not just the story of a wrestler. It is the story of a man who lived as a champion, a fighter, and a survivor. This is the story of José Alberto Rodríguez Chucuan, known to the world as Alberto del Rio and Alberto el Patrón. Born in San Luis Potosí, Mexico, José Alberto came into the world with wrestling already in his blood. His father, Dos Caras, was a legendary luchador, a hero to generations of Mexican wrestling fans. His uncle, Mil Mascaras, was one of the most influential figures in lucha libre history. For young José, wrestling wasn't just a dream, it was destiny. But even though he carried a powerful legacy, he wanted to make his own mark, not just walk in someone else's footsteps. Growing up, Alberto was surrounded by stories of honor, discipline, and the art of lucha libre. He watched his father perform in packed arenas, captivating crowds with skill and grace. Those moments shaped him. But his father also taught him something important, that greatness isn't inherited, it's earned. So while his last name opened doors, his heart and discipline made him step through them on his own terms. Before he ever set foot in a professional wrestling ring, José Alberto was already an athlete of high caliber. He trained in Greco-Roman wrestling and became one of the top amateur wrestlers in Mexico. He even represented his country on the national stage, proving his talent not through fame, but through competition and hard work. There were moments when he dreamed of going to the Olympics. That dream didn't materialize, but another one did, a dream that would take him far beyond the borders of Mexico. By the early 2000s, José Alberto transitioned to professional wrestling, joining the world of lucha libre. He wrestled in his father's image as Dos Caras Jr., carrying the family mask and keeping the lucha tradition alive. Fans loved him for his technical brilliance and the charisma that came naturally to him. Under the mask, he wasn't just another wrestler, he was the future. But even though he had respect in Mexico, he wanted more. He wanted to conquer the world. He wanted to prove that a Mexican wrestler could stand on the biggest global stage and shine as bright as anyone. And so, José Alberto looked toward the United States, the land of opportunity, the home of world wrestling entertainment. When he finally signed with WWE, he knew this was his chance to create a legacy beyond borders. But to do that, he needed transformation. He needed something larger than life, something unforgettable. And so, Alberto del Rio was born, a name that would soon echo across arenas around the world. When Alberto del Rio made his WWE debut, he arrived not quietly but with grandeur. The luxury cars, the confident smile, the perfectly tailored suits, he carried himself like royalty. He spoke about destiny, about greatness, about being born to win. Some called him arrogant, others called him brilliant. But one thing was certain, he made an impression. He was a natural villain, a man who could make fans cheer one moment and boo the next. He had the class of a movie star and the cold confidence of a champion. But underneath that smile, there was hunger, a hunger to prove that he could stand shoulder to shoulder with the very best. His rise was fast. Alberto del Rio quickly became one of WWE's brightest stars, winning the 2011 Royal Rumble and the Money in the Bank contract soon after. His victories came not just through his persona, but through undeniable talent. His technical skill, his smooth transitions, his ring awareness, all of it made him a dangerous opponent. When he locked in his signature cross-arm breaker, the crowd knew it was over. In just a short time, Alberto del Rio achieved what many spend their entire careers chasing. He became WWE champion, then world heavyweight champion. He wasn't just a representative of Mexico, he was a global superstar. Every entrance, every promo, every match screamed confidence and class. But with success came challenges. The pressure to remain at the top, the grind of life on the road, and the expectations of both fans and management took a toll. The same company that gave him a platform also tested his patience. There were conflicts, creative frustrations, and moments that made him question his place. Behind the camera lights, there was a man dealing with exhaustion, politics, and emotional strain. Despite all the chaos, Alberto never stopped performing. He gave fans unforgettable rivalries, with John Cena, CM Punk, Edge, and Christian. He delivered matches that balanced technical perfection with raw intensity. And through it all, he remained proud of his heritage. Every time he raised a championship, he raised the Mexican flag in spirit. But as the years passed, life began to shift. WWE and Alberto Del Rio eventually parted ways. It was a difficult chapter, filled with uncertainty. Yet for José Alberto, it was not the end, it was a rebirth. Because when you have talent, charisma, and purpose, you can always start again. He reinvented himself once more, this time as Alberto El Patrón. Free from the machine of corporate wrestling, he found a new home in Impact Wrestling and later on the independent circuit. Fans saw a different side of him, a man who still carried the same fire, but also experience and perspective. He was now a veteran, guiding others, leading by example, and showing that true greatness doesn't fade, it evolves. In Impact Wrestling, Alberto El Patrón became a force. He held championships, told powerful stories, and once again captured the attention of wrestling fans around the world. But what stood out most wasn't just his victories, it was his resilience. He had seen both sides of fame, the glory and the shadows. And yet, he never gave up on himself. His passion for wrestling went beyond performing. He began working as a promoter, helping grow professional wrestling in Latin America. He also stepped into commentary, using his voice and experience to uplift others. Through it all, he remained proud of where he came from and what he achieved. His journey hasn't been without mistakes or controversy. Like all human beings, Alberto faced personal and professional challenges that tested his strength. But what defines him is that he kept walking forward. He learned, he evolved, and he stood by his belief that the ring was where he truly belonged. In recent years, Alberto's focus has shifted toward rebuilding, mentoring, and giving back. He has dedicated his time to creating opportunities for young wrestlers, especially in Mexico. He wants the next generation to understand that success is not only about fame, but about discipline, culture, and respect for the craft. In interviews, he has often said that wrestling is his first love and his lasting purpose. Even after decades in the business, he still feels the same thrill every time he steps through the ropes. For Alberto, the ring is not just a stage, it's home. And that's what makes his story so powerful. It's not just about titles or fame. It's about a man who lived many lives within one career, a son of a legend, a national hero, a global star, and a teacher. His journey is proof that no matter where life takes you, passion can always bring you back to your path. Now, in 2025, José Alberto Rodríguez Chucuan stands as more than just a wrestler. He is a promoter, a commentator, a mentor, and a man who continues to represent lucha libre with pride. He travels, he speaks, he performs, and he inspires. The same boy who once dreamed of wrestling like his father has become the man who carries the torch for an entire culture. He has seen both victory and loss, both applause and silence. And yet, through it all, his spirit has never been broken. His career has taught fans around the world that legacy isn't just what you achieve, it's what you leave behind. For Alberto, wrestling was never just a job. It was a way to connect hearts, to share stories, and to inspire others to chase greatness. And even today, every time he steps into an arena, he brings with him the pride of Mexico and the experience of a man who has lived it all. So, who is José Alberto Rodríguez Chucuan? He is a son who honored his family, a fighter who rose above pain, and a man who keeps chasing excellence even after decades in the spotlight. He has known glory, he has faced struggle, but most importantly, he has kept his passion alive. His story teaches us that life is not about how many times you fall, but how many times you rise again. It teaches us that talent may open doors, but character keeps them open. And it reminds us that no matter how far we go, the roots that shaped us will always define us. The story of Alberto Del Rio is one of transformation, a man who lived multiple lives, under multiple names, but always with the same heart. From Dos Caras Jr. to Alberto Del Rio, from El Patrón to José Alberto the Man, each version tells the same story of resilience and pride. And that's why, after so many years, people still remember him. Because he gave everything to this business, and he did it with the spirit of a true warrior. His path continues, and his name remains written in the history of wrestling. For those who watched him rise, fall, and rise again, the message is simple: passion never dies. As fans, we celebrate not just the victories, but the man behind them, the one who carried his family's legacy into the modern world and showed that lucha libre's heart still beats strong. So as we close this chapter, remember this: greatness isn't perfection. It's persistence. It's the courage to face the world, flaws and all, and still chase your destiny. José Alberto Rodríguez Chucuan is more than a wrestler. He is a symbol of pride, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of Mexico. Thank you for watching Nation of Glory. If this story inspired you, make sure to hit that like button. Share this video with every wrestling fan who believes in legacy, passion, and redemption. And don't forget to subscribe to Nation of Glory for more stories of courage, comebacks, and glory from the world of wrestling and beyond. Until next time, remember, no matter where you come from or what you face, your story can always find its way to greatness.